Hey, what's up, everybody? I have a new novella coming out soon. It's called Trailer Park, and it is a young adult book about vampires in the trailer park. So it's not just a clever name. um, I thought that it would be a good time to read a excerpt from it, just to give you guys a idea of what the book's about. So that's what I'm gonna do. The air mattresses were laid out in the living room. The VCR had the red light glowing with the brand new blank tape recording the wrestling pay-per-view, and I had my phone belt wrapped snug around my waist. I stood atop the top rope, also known as my dad's couch, and gave my best impression of Eddie Guerrero. I shook my shoulders and said, "Viva la raza!" Just as Jose was trying to tell me the white boys couldn't say that, I came crashing down on top of Roberto with the most beautiful frog splash that Los Hermanos trailer park had ever seen. I must have knocked the wind right out of him because he was trying to catch his breath as Jose brought his hand down to the air mattress for the count. 1, 2, 3. I bounced up and down on the air mattress with my arms raised. "Quit jumping on that thing, you're gonna pop it." My dad came from the other room with a big bowl of popcorn. I smiled and plopped down on the couch. He handed the bowl to me and said, "You kids have fun, but behave. I don't want any more holes in the walls." The hole in question came from a particularly rowdy hardcore match where we used random objects around the house as weapons. We wouldn't actually hit each other, but when I reared back with my old skateboard to pretend to hit Jose, well, I think you can fill in the rest. My dad put a picture of Jesus over it and we all pretended it never happened. After I was grounded for a week, of course. We agreed at my dad's request, and I moved the bowl to the mattress to share the popcorn. The next match was one that we had been waiting for all night, well, all month really. I had scraped together any change I could find and did whatever chores my dad would come up with to make the extra money all summer. And now it was time for the payoff. The match. The one that would go down in history as the one that would be remembered as the greatest main event of all time. More importantly, the one that I would never forget. This night, these friends, a snapshot in the annals of time. The slumber party wouldn't end with the pay-per-view, though. There was a long night of fun ahead of us. We thought we would put on a scary movie to continue to the fun. I put in my trusty old VHS of the one with the ghost face killer and let the VCR rewind. As it did, I popped some more popcorn and turned out the lights. While waiting, we decided to get into the spooky spirit by telling each other some scary stories. Roberto was talking about the goat man who supposedly roamed by the forest behind the trailer park. We began to fear that he would sneak up to the trailer and peek into the front window at us. I talked about the old man who scowled at us from his front porch and suggested that maybe he was an old serial killer who never got caught. That's where the fun and games ended. Jose let me finish the story, but what he said next I remember clearly to this day. "Yeah, those things are scary, but what's even scarier is the true story of what's going on in Los Hermanos trailer park. I don't want to be the one to tell you this. I'm afraid they will find it out and come get me." We groaned and said, "Come on, tell us, and you can't stop now." He shook his head solemnly, took a peek at the window and out the front door, and began his tale. "Well, the kids around here have always told a story, but I know it's true. I've seen the proof with my own eyes. This is more real than any legend or rumor. This is Los Muertos Vivientes, the living dead. My mom calls them bad news, and my papa calls them bloodsuckers. You don't want to mess with Los Hermanos Vampiros." Roberto recoiled in fright. I looked at Jose with my head cocked. He smirked and said, "Vampires, white boy?" My eyes shot open wide with fright. He continued, "There's always a head vampire who runs the whole thing, like a mafia boss or something, you know? Mr. Rosen in the trailer down by the Greenway?" We both nodded. "You ever notice how he's only out on his porch after sunset or before sunrise?" I nodded but added, "I thought that it's because he worked nights." Jose shrugged. "Oh, I'm sure he does. What work though? It's a little worse than just stocking some shelves at the grocery store." Roberto questioned him. "You said that you saw something. What did you see?" Jose held up a finger. "That's what I'm getting to, Roberto. You know across the ditch how that family keeps goats and chickens? They think that it's coyotes that have been getting to them, but I know better. I saw Mr. Rosen draining the blood out of their goats while I was riding my bike home one night. I decided to stop by the concrete leading down the ditch. The shooting stars were crazy that night, all over the sky. I wanted to go where the trees weren't blocking them and get a closer look. My face grew pale, and Roberto's mouth dropped open wide with surprise. I looked across the ditch, trying to figure out what I was looking at. When I finally realized, I was ready to get a move on it, but that's when it happened. I leaned in. What happened? What happened? He grabbed mine and Roberto's shoulders, pulling us in close. He saw me. No, Roberto screamed. Yes, he continued, releasing us, but staying in close as he finished the tale. He didn't hear me. I was silent when he looked. It was different. It was almost like he smelled me. I saw his head stop what he was doing on the goat's neck. He dropped it down away from his face, and after that, his head bobbed up and down a little bit like he was sniffing the air. His head shot back around at me, and I could see his huge, scary teeth all the way from across the ditch. We both screamed out in fright. I grabbed both sides of my face, and I didn't think I could handle it anymore. He said, "Oh yeah, that's what I did too." I couldn't help it. I screamed. I yelled out for my mom. Most importantly, I got the heck out of there. I avoided that man's trailer at all costs today, and I hope I never see him again. Some nights when I'm all alone, though, I worry that maybe he doesn't plan on letting me get away with what I know. I worry that he's coming for me. The microwave beeped as the popcorn was ready. I was glad the chance to get away from the story that I was sure was going to give me a heart attack. I returned to the living room, turned on the lights as I did, and put the bowl of popcorn down between Jose and Roberto. The movie was finished rewinding, but I hit the eject button. "You guys, want to watch a comedy instead?" They both nodded and their heads vigorously as I went to swap out the tapes. I could have sworn I saw some movement at the window and the front door. It had to be my mind playing tricks on me, though. It had to. So that's just a chapter or so of Trailer Park. It'll be coming out soon. If you enjoy the music you hear in the background, that's Brandon Boone. I love listening to his music while I write or read. So check him out as well. And thanks for listening. Bye.